Welcome to Drill Down Earnings. We've got the latest quarterly results from Broadcom. This is the business story behind one stock on the move. I'm Futurum's chief market strategist, Cory Johnson. And the Broadcom results were just really strong. Q2 earnings for them. Wall Street just likes a beat or a miss, and this was a beat, yes, and the stock went crazy afterwards. But let's look at the actual numbers to see how these guys did so we can really understand the business better. $12.5 billion in revenues for the quarter, and very profitable. About 35% of that turned into free cash flow. So this is a business that makes a lot of revenues and makes a lot of profits and turns that into free cash flow by keeping capital expenditures down. Just a very impressive business model. And this is now the second full quarter we've seen with the VMware results mixed in here. So the stock price also is going to change a lot because they're doing a 10-for-1 stock split. Whatever, that's a stock thing, not a business thing. Let's look at the business. So revenue growth exploding now that they've got VMware, 43% larger company than it was a year ago in terms of revenues. And operating margins are bouncing back here from the lower number that they put up last quarter, hitting 24% in this second fiscal quarter. And chip sales reaccelerating. So growing 5%, not fantastic growth, but growing in the right direction, the growth rate growing in the right direction. And in the conference call, the company had a lot of interesting comments to talk about. What else? AI. $11 billion in AI revenue they expect in their fiscal year, and which ends in October, right? This is the end of the second quarter. And so $11 billion, that's about 20% of their business driven by AI. So this really is an AI company, which is interesting because they're not in the graphic processor unit business, the GPU business that NVIDIA has done so well, even though they're making AI chips, mostly accelerators. They've also had great success with Ethernet. So while NVIDIA is going towards InfiniBand and their Spectrum X Ethernet products to essentially wire together the data centers that are creating AI for us, these guys are really doubling down on Ethernet. And they kind of boasted about that during the conference call, saying that 7 of the 8 largest existing clusters of AI chips are deployed using Ethernet. Broadcom makes chips that powers Ethernet, so that's good for Broadcom, and we can see it in these numbers. And for the millionth time, we're learning that betting against Ethernet's pretty tough thing to do. So how did the market react? Well, like I said, the market loved this. Stock was up 11% in after hours, and that's on top of about 100% growth in the last year. So just a fantastic year. Now, they were careful in their conference call not to poke the beast, not to say they're taking on NVIDIA. I was watching some business news. I was on a plane today, and one of the anchors was comparing these guys to NVIDIA. They're in a very different business. They do not compete with NVIDIA, maybe a little bit in the Ethernet side, but not anywhere else. They're very intentional about not trying to compete with them and focusing on AI accelerators, not graphic processors. Listen to what the CEO Hock Tan had to say on the conference call.
On AI accelerators, I think we're operating on a different, to start with, scale, much as different model. It's, the GPUs, which are the AI accelerator of choice in a merchant environment, is something that is extremely powerful as a model, and it's something that NVIDIA operates in a very, very effective manner. We don't even think about competing against them in that space. Not in the least. That's where they're very good at, and we know where we stand with respect to that. No, what we do for very selected or selective hyperscalers is if they have the skill and the skills to try to create silicon solutions, which are AI accelerators, to do particular AI, very complex AI workloads. We're happy to use our IP portfolio to create those custom ASIC AI accelerators. So I do not see them as truly competing against each other, and far from me to say I'm trying to position myself to be a competitor on basically GPUs in this market. We're not. We are not competitor to them. We don't try to be either.
So Hock Tan saying NVIDIA's going to stay over there, we're going to stay over here, and that's the way it's going to be. But I want to get you one number that's going to tell you a whole lot about these earnings. A drill down bite right after this.
The Drill Down is brought to you by Futurum Group, where analysts, researchers, advisors, content creators, and marketing experts help business leaders anticipate and understand shifts in their industries and build strategies to leverage disruptive innovation. With deep analysis, Futurum Group's extensive industry experience delivers reliable research and data, thought leadership, and actionable advice to help you with your strategy and go-to-market efforts. Futurum Group.
All right, so Broadcom's second quarter earnings, here's what you need to know, the essential summary and one number that tells us a whole lot. So we'll start with revenues of $12.5 billion, and 35% of that ended up in free cash flow. So just a fantastically profitable business. And they're gonna make some big changes to the stock with a 10-for-1 stock split. The market loved these results, but I wanna give you a bite, one number that tells us a whole lot. And yeah, that number that tells us a whole lot is that revenue growth figure. A 43% year-over-year revenue growth for this company is just fantastic with the addition of VMware. And like I said, Mr. Market liked it. So did I. What's not to like? All right, thanks for listening to Drill Down Earnings. Check me out at X at Drill Down Pod, and TikTok and Instagram at Drill Down Pod. You can also check me out on X at Cory TV, and of course, Futurum Group's YouTube page is a plethora of technology information. Drill Down Earnings, part of 6.5 Media.